I never will forget my first recording session for RCA back in 1967. I was new to driving then, and I had just got a new car, and I was kind of running behind from a session, so I pulled into the parking lot here, and I just plowed right into this building. And if you look outside, you can still see where the bricks are a little different in one spot. I guess you could say I left my mark on this place.
Well, folks, we're going to head over to Music Row. In Nashville, Music Row is 16th and 17th Avenues, and it's basically the business district of country music. Right over here we got ASCAP, that along with like BMI, Sony right next door, and CCAP. Those are like the top 4 for publishing here in Nashville. Did y'all hear Dolly talking about crashing into the building? Right? Well, that's a true story. Apparently, she got her license without even getting a road test. She went up there, and the driver's guy was just like enamored by her and just said, "Here, have a license." And she was just so excited to be recording here that literally, you look behind the dumpster, that's where she had her first big hit here at Studio B. She just went right into it. All right, folks, we're here at the studio, so if y'all are brave enough to follow me, it's this way. Thumbtacks and blankets. That's the key to our success in Studio B. You sure can? Yeah. If anybody would like to play the piano, feel free. We just have a brief couple of minutes here, but you can say you played where Elvis played.
I want to sit down. I want to sit down.
Yes. Okay. Yep. Well, Elvis loved it here at Studio B, and as Dolly said, coming over here, he recorded about over 250 of his songs right there in his studio. Now, when RCA built Studio A next door in 1964, they did give Elvis the option to record over there because it was a more spacious, more modern studio. But I tell you, he really didn't like it. He went over there and didn't get the vibe that he got at Studio B. He felt much more at home. He felt more of an intimate, homey atmosphere. So he said, "That's where I want to record." So they obviously said, "Okay, Elvis, we'll do whatever you want." Now, if you were going to record back then, your typical sessions times would be 10 a.m., 2 p.m., 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. Well, now Elvis was a night owl and kind of did things his own way. He rolled in about 11 o'clock at night, but that didn't mean he started recording at 11 o'clock at night. The first thing that Elvis would do when he got to the studio, and this is one of the qualities I really, really admire about him, he'd go around to all those studio sessions players and visit with each one individual. And to me, that says to me, Elvis realized it wasn't even about him at that session, it was about the record. And they were all there to work together, so that's when that camaraderie and teamwork really helps. And if you think about it, if we're involved in a situation, right, like those sessions players, if we feel vital and important to the situation, our confidence level and performance level is going to go that much higher. And that's exactly what happened in the studio. Well, after Elvis would visit with everybody, he'd order hamburgers in for a little midnight snack around the studio. They'd have a little snack. Then he'd go to that piano that he couldn't buy. He'd grab the Jordanaires, which was his backup guys, and they'd sing about 2 hours worth of gospel music just to rile everybody up. Or y'all remember what time we got there? 11 o'clock. We visited with everybody. Then we had hamburgers, and we visited and sang 22 hours of gospel music, you know. It's no wonder, to get you an idea how late those sessions went, that Crying in the Chapel was recorded sometime after 5 a.m. on an October morning back in 1960. You all were in it for the long haul. You had better packed an overnight bag for those sessions. And think about this too, all those sessions players, they were clocked in. Think of the overtime that could be made with Elvis, like cha-ching, 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 all night long. So, but RCA was pretty slick too. They were really well aware of the fact that if it worked for Elvis, it was going to work for them. They could kind of laugh all the way to the bank. So they didn't want to put a stick in Elvis's spoke by any means. They kind of said, "Oh, Elvis, go in there and have a good time." And we got some proof that he had a good time because we're at my favorite part of our program today. It's what I like to call the Elvis bloopers. We got some great audio outtakes of Elvis recording Little Sister. And it's really wonderful to hear because to me it kind of humanizes Elvis in a way we can more relate to. He's just a guy trying to cut a song and he's laughing and carrying on. And I kind of believe that if you can have all the talent in the world, but if you're not carrying it in your heart, you're not going to go the distance. Well, Elvis, what did we, the other day was 29 years that he's passed on. He's still going the distance after all these years. And let your imaginations go to work, folks, because it all took place right in that room. So as you listen in now and you hear them all laughing and carrying on, you can almost see them in the room. So let's give these bloopers a listen to. Elvis and Little Sister.
Just got a classic in here. M2WW0861 Deco. Oh, take two. All right.
Little sister, don't you?
Three.
I can't hardly hear you. Little sister, don't you? Yeah. Little sister, don't you? Little sister, don't you? Little sister, don't you kiss me once or twice and say it's very nice and then you run. Little sister, don't you do what your big sister does.